information from Larimer County officials on the flooding.
Christensen, Christensen. And a couple of things. We confirmed the number of evacuations that occurred yesterday. That number is 114 people that were brought out of various areas of the county, including the Pinewood Springs area, areas surrounding the Big Thompson Canyon, including Storm Mountain. We did hear actually after those evacuations occurred from at least a couple of families that were some of the refusals we had that are now reconsidering now that they've kind of got a feel for the magnitude of this incident and the long timelines involved in reestablishing access and infrastructure to those areas. And so we're hopeful others will do that, but we still have resources on scene and we can continue to evacuate people using the helicopters. We do have 10 helicopters available today, including, I believe we've got 2 Chinooks, 5 Blackhawks, 1 Lakota, and 2 smaller agency helicopters that we have available for reconnaissance and to put forces on the ground in advance of the evacuations. Often they deploy a helitack who goes down and organizes the citizens before they bring in a Chinook or a Blackhawk so they can land, be on the ground briefly, and then get out of the area in a safe manner. Estes Park, some good news there. They are drawing down some of the resources in that area, and I know I can't speak for the city of Estes Park, but I know the folks up there are working hard to reopen any businesses that may have been impacted, and access is opening up along the Highway 7 corridor for them. So that's some good news there. At this point, search and rescue will continue until everybody who wants to get out or should get out is out, but they're also starting to start the assessment process of looking at the amount of damage and what needs to be done in the areas where destruction has occurred. We've had officials from CDOT, County Road and Bridge, and other state level folks in our EOC working on that aspect of it. They've been doing reconnaissance flights and that sort of thing, and ground reconnaissance to start to figure out what the situation is and when services will be reestablished. At this point, we don't have good answers on that timeline, other than you're looking at particularly the devastation in the Big Thompson Canyon and that 36 corridor on the south part of the county and into Boulder County. Many of those roadways and areas will take many, many months before they're reopened again. We don't have an updated number yet on the number of people that are unaccounted. As of yesterday, we were at 197. I am hearing that number will be lower today, but I don't have a specific number for you yet. We have an investigative team working on that component, and they're continuing to cross-reference data to confirm where each of the evacuees are, and then if there are any that are unaccounted for, following up on those as needed. We are still encouraging those that have been evacuated to register at safeandwell.org, and if there are loved ones that are trying to contact somebody that they haven't heard from, to also notify safeandwell.org or to call our Joint Information Center at 970-498-5500. I do have a representative from our Type 2 team here, as well as from FEMA and myself, to take any questions that you may have at this point.
Nick, yesterday there was a lot of talk on Monday that you guys, the evacuation numbers would double on Tuesday.
Right.
Can you explain why it ended up being lower than what was originally anticipated?
Yeah, that's a great question. The question was, why did the numbers not quite hit the level that we'd planned for yesterday? We initially anticipated in the prior operational period that we would be able to evacuate 300 to 400 people yesterday. However, as the operations were planned and implemented, turned out they did a number of pinpoint evacuations, meaning they went to many more locations and contacted smaller groups of folks on the ground. They also had to deploy the helitacs or get ground search and rescue crews into those areas to organize people, so that takes some time, and then deploy the helicopters to pick them up. Lastly, we had a number of people that refused to evacuate for various reasons, and certainly that's their right to do so. We don't force anybody to evacuate, but we want those folks to know that it's a very long haul potentially for many of them in terms of getting services up there, being able to go to the store to buy groceries, that sort of thing. The aerial resources we have available to us now are not going to be available to us on an ongoing basis. So we're hoping that many of those reconsider or make sure that they're ready for winter at this point and can shelter in place for many, many months.
What's the time frame, do you think, on those air resources if those folks change their mind and said, hey, can you come get me?
Well, we don't encourage people to refuse to evacuate and change their mind. At this point, I think we have some ability to accommodate that on a limited basis. The aerial resources will probably only be here for a few days at this point. Once the search and rescue process has been completed and we've gone everywhere we can with helicopters, they'll redeploy to other areas.
Is there any movement on the land issue?
The access issue that you're talking about up there by Storm Mountain?
Yeah.
Well, the situation with the private landowner that had, well, let me back up on that. There was some talk of a private landowner that was not allowing people to go through their property to get out of Storm Mountain. That is at this point not accurate. Either they've reconsidered or they've always been willing to allow people to get out. But at this point, people can get out through there. It is a very treacherous, tough road that even ATVs and off-road motorcycles have a hard time navigating. Somebody with a Jeep with a winch made it through, so it's a very muddy, messy road. But people have been able to get out of there and through there, and the landowner has allowed them to do that. They have had some concerns with allowing people to go back in, though. And from a public safety standpoint, the evacuations need to occur. We can go in. The FEMA search and rescue crews and the Type 2 team we're working with can access that on exigent basis for public safety, but it's not necessarily going to be open for people to come and go. Now, there are some discussions going on, and perhaps something can be worked out with the private landowners or through the Forest Service to allow a limited number of people who are in locations that are accessible the ability to come and go on an ongoing basis, but right now we don't have a definitive answer to that.
All right, you're listening to the Larimer County press conference, just really giving an update on the situation right now. And it sounds like they're getting a little access there at the Highway 7 corridor, which is great news.
Absolutely. They've still got a kind of a search and rescue effort they're going to keep in mind. They got 10 helicopters working today. Yesterday, remember, they rescued 144 people and pulled them out of some of the tough areas. They'll continue doing that today. And as promised, we'll continue to follow any updates throughout the day right here on 7 News and certainly our 7 News app and the denverchannel.com. We'll get you back to your regular programming and see you here for 7 News at 11.